And we're live. Hey guys, happy Sunday. I just was getting organized. If you've been following my stories on Instagram, I've already mentioned that I am sick today, a little bit of a crab, but I've donned on some makeup and we're good to go for our live. So I'm just going to give this a couple of minutes so people can roll in. Come say hi to me in the chat so I know you're here. All the regulars and maybe new people. Hi, welcome. Happy Sunday. And I'm just seeing one person so far, but I know there's a little bit of a lag happening when I first go live on YouTube. So I'm going to let you guys come in, come say hi. Say hi in the chat, guys. And I am just going to get myself ready. Once I have a couple of you saying hi, I'm going to begin my quick hi hello before we move on to painting something nice today. Hi, Patty. Oh my gosh, it's a little bit of a... As I said, hi, Patty. How's it going, Patty? I hope it's a nice sunny day on your end. It's fairly sunny over here. Hi, Mai. Good morning. Hello, Leia. People are still rolling in. Okay, so I am going to start my spiel, and I'm going to have to most likely switch out my battery on my camera. So if and when it goes dark or blank, please let me know. Although it doesn't ding me saying that people have commented or anything. So I'll have to probably look up constantly to make sure that I am able to see myself. Also, what doesn't help is that there's a little bit of a lag. So even if it goes off, I'll be going on and then I'll notice until I think it's a minute. I'm not sure. That's what YouTube does. Anyway, so I'm going to quickly flip over to my... Hi, Deborah. I'm going to flip over to the other screen, my painting screen, so you can see my table. And then we will quickly go through what we did, what we're going to be doing, and whatnot, whatever else. Okay, so a couple of things as I am preparing to show you my desk. The first thing I want to say is, let me flip over now. So if you have not been watching my Instagram, I suggest you probably follow along and just check out some of the new videos that I posted on Instagram. And by videos, I mean I did 2 live paintings this past week. And the second painting, which was on Thursday, which is my typical live, was this right here. And believe it or not, this was me swatching colors thanks to Cat Aqua from France. She was so kind and she sent me a couple of goodies in the mail and she sent me some of her colors to sample. And so this is what I did on Instagram. I had a couple of people messaging me and going, "Oh, I didn't know you do lives on Instagram as well." I do not do lives on Instagram in terms of painting. It just so happened that this past week, this was one of them, and then the next one that I did on the Wednesday was this right here. And the idea behind this was Legion, Stonehenge, sent me some paper, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use some of KMS Metallics and some of Legion paper and just do a nice live on Instagram just for fun, and also to test out some of the colors, because guess what's coming up in May? The Watercolor challenge. So for all of you who did the challenge last year and really liked it, get ready for round 2 this year, because it's coming up soon. I'm just getting myself organized for it, so you'll start hearing about it probably in the beginning of April, really. So stay tuned for that. And so we'll definitely be using some of the black metallic watercolor paper. So I'm giving you a heads up. Here's your chance to sort of go out and get it if you want to. If not, you can just improvise, because I always say get creative. Use regular paper if you want to, if you don't want to use black. But yeah, there's 2 videos if you want to try that out. Check it out on Instagram. And then yesterday was the March class that we did, and here's what we came up with. Well, here's what I came up with after the class. But here's some of the practice sheets. But we were sort of going after something like this. I decided to do something a little more fuller, and that's what we did. So if you've missed the class, if you'd like to take the class, the video is going to be available shortly. You can just hop onto the website and purchase it, and you should get an email on Tuesday for it. And yeah, these classes will always be available online, so feel free to check those out if you like to get a little more well accustomed with loose watercolor painting. Okay, so this is what we did last week. And sorry, not last week, last Sunday live. And for our weekly video, I just had it here. Where did it go? Oh, right here. This is what we did on Thursday, and this was done on Etcher watercolor postcards. And so we're doing something similar today. I will switch out the colors for something a little bit different, just so we have a different vibe happening. And let's see. But we're keeping with the idea of easy and fun wildflower bunches. There is going to be a twist to today as well. While I'm blabbing on, I need you guys to prepare some sort of shape on your sheet of paper. And as you're preparing that, let me just quickly explain to you what what the idea is. So we're going to be doing florals on top, and we're going to be outlining this in a metallic color. So that's the whole idea. So go for a circle if you wish, if you like rounded edges. Go for a square if you want to do a square. Go for a diamond if you want to do a diamond. I just figured I'll just go for the shape I had most handy, which was a rectangle, and I've kind of made it diagonal here. So that's what I'm running with. Feel free to do your own thing. So get to that right now, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm using today. So my paper of choice for today is Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press in the 300 GSM. My colors are my usual set of 36 White Knights, and I'll let you know exactly what colors I'm using as we go along. I'm also going to be using the Sparkling Stars by KMS for the border over here. And let's see if I want to do any metallics like we did here for the grass. I'm not quite sure. I'll see where the inspiration takes me. And again, once again, I am doing my thing. If you feel like you want to go a different route as we are progressing in today's painting, I encourage you to do so. You don't have to be following me to the T. For brushes, I am going to be using the Princeton Neptune brushes in the number 6 and the script number 4. I'm also throwing in the Silver Black Velvet number 8. I've got a paper towel handy. I have my beautiful oval palette by Lisi Arts, and I've got two little bowls of water handy as well. And I think we are good to begin. I'm just going to look at the comments really quickly if anyone had any comments. Nope, no comments, just people saying hi. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lena. Hi, Laura. Yeah, thanks, Leah. The March color palette was very much so like a cotton candy, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna begin, and I'm just gonna make sure I have my screen here so that when it goes off, I can see it. So, and I'll stop every now and then just to read comments if you guys have any comments at all. Otherwise, we are good to begin. Okay, let's begin. So we're gonna start off by doing our flowers really quickly, and so for that, I'm going to be starting off for placement. So I think I want to do, I'd like to do one at the top, one down here, just over the line, and then another one over at this line. And that's where I'll place my flowers. And then we'll do additional flowers and greenery as we sort of go along. But we're doing a bunch of flowers, you could say. So maybe we'll end off with like a metallic bow or something. I don't know. Let's just see how that works out. I'm not, this is just an idea in my head. I have not seen it anywhere. I'm just running with it because it sounds like something that's not been done. I don't know. All right. So I'm going to start with my number 6, and I'm keeping my number 8 handy for my dipping in water and smudging to get nicer, softer edges. And we'll start off with using some of the, I think for today, let's use the turquoise. I barely ever use it, and so I think it would be nice to use a little bit of turquoise, but I've not really seen a lot of flowers with turquoise. However, we are going to be doing these guys right here, so it would be nice to get some turquoise in and get in some of the, I'll get some indigo to do some of the darker areas for it. So just right here. So this looks like more of a teal because I didn't wash off the turquoise. It just kind of went in and got some of the indigo, which is nice. I like that. So then it just looks like a darker shade of that. Hi Leslie, hi Joanne. Okay, so I've got that handy and ready. And I'm gonna wash off most of this color. Go back, get some of my turquoise, because we're starting off with the turquoise, okay? Here it goes. So we are doing exactly what we did over here to do our little cornflowers. I'm just doing them in different colors today. And I'm going to do my first one over here. And this one can just be facing upward. So doing my little lines in an arc style, leaving a lot of white space, or trying to leave a bit of white space in between as I go all the way around, adding some dotted details to the end of it. And then I'm just kind of doing some kind of slightly protruding outwards. And I'm not closing up the space in there, and you'll see why, because I want to go in there with the darker color and add that as my shadowy bits in here. And very loose, very uncontrolled and sporadic. Getting some of my indigo on my number 8. So I don't need the my number 6. I don't need the number 8 brush just yet. And I know I have a lot of water collecting here, but I'm going to go ahead and add this indigo in anyways. Let's just see what happens. And I'm kind of adding some strokes in between at the top as well. I might just have to zoom in just so you guys can see a bit better, in case this is a little bit too tiny for you. But notice all the white space. Let's zoom in. Let me go here first. Zoom in. You see good? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So I'm not going to do anything else to this. Leave that as is right there. I'm going to go ahead and get some, let's get another variation of this, of blue, just to kind of spice things up. So I'm going to get some of the bright blue. And I'm just going to mix it with whatever is left over for the turquoise. And we'll do another version of this. Maybe an orange would have been nice too, but we'll go with that. With this for now. So looks very much so like the turquoise, and that's okay. So going around again in uneven lines in an arc shape. And then kind of dotting the ends there. Just getting a little bit more of that turquoise for the bottom. And kind of doing shorter lines at the bottom. Leaving the center fairly open, like with white space. Now that I have that, I'm just going to get some of the indigo directly from the color cake onto the tip of my brush. And I'm just going to add that color in right away. And I'm not covering up the entire surface. I'm just kind of trying to allow the color to seep into with the blue and do its watercolor magic. And then I'll just add a couple of dots to the bottom here to indicate shadow. I'm going to add a little bit more of the darker hue into this guy here because I can see that it's dried up, and I want there to be slightly darker shadowy bits over here as well. Okay, perfect. We've got these two little constellation type star elements happening here. And now let's do one more color, and for this I think I'm going to get some of the Quinn Lilac. And I'll just mix it in with what we have here, and we've got some nice, get a little bit more of that. So now we've got like this purpley hue, and I'm going to go ahead and do this next one over here. Again, same idea. It's an arc, and we're just dabbing at the top to kind of make it nice and loose looking at the top. And then for this, you know, I want to get a little bit of my carmine and add that to whatever's left here. Let's get another variation of this happening. Get some nice pinks in there as well for the bottom. And just allow that to blend in nicely. I'm just adding a little bit of the pink at the top as well. I'm loving this blend of dark to light almost. That's great. And now I'm going to go ahead and get my number 4, and we're going to get some green going on in this here. So I'll get some chromium oxide, mix that on here. I've got some green left over from yesterday's class. So use the green that you like best, I guess. I'm going to mix some umber in my green to get a more of a brownish sort of green happening. And now we're gonna do our stems. So remember, this is going to be like a bouquet of wildflowers. And so you kind of want them all to kind of touch together. So if it helps by kind of resting your hand or your wrist down and then kind of drawing an arc for your stem, then go ahead and try that. Or if you're really good at doing whoop, then good for you. I'm not very good at doing that, so usually I'm doing something like this where I'm literally trying multiple strokes to kind of get the thickness and the shape that I want. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's totally fine. Okay, so we don't have to bother too much with the details here. And the reason being because we're going to be doing a couple more elements as well, and that should be fine. Okay, so I just want to add a couple of tiny details around in areas just to sort of make it seem a little more loose and nice. So I'm going to add a couple of like little green protruding elements to my flowers here, especially because it's damp. I'm going to allow some green to kind of make it look like it's, what do you call the bottoms of these? The little green things that open up and then the flowers come out of it. I don't know the correct term. So if one of you know, please write it in the chat so that we are all educated on a little more than just knowing how to paint these guys. And then I'm also going to add a couple of like stringy type of elements over here, even though again, we're going to be going on and doing like grassy elements and possibly some of that Queen Anne's lace sort of thing. It's a Queen Anne's lace, yeah, something like that. Purple Kisses. You guys have seen that video of mine. We'll do some of that. So there's a lot of dotted elements in today's painting. Okay, so this is good. We're just gonna go ahead and add the Purple Kisses, like I mentioned. So let's use the number 6. And for this, I will use, oh, let's do the green first. We got to do the green part for this. I think this will be easier if we start with the green. So I'm mixing some of my umber and I'm getting some of my emerald in here just to get like a darker looking green. Try and get a different variation of green just so that these stems stand out more than what we've done here with these guys. And we're gonna go ahead and add one of those guys that I just mentioned over on this end here. So so I think the best way to explain it is to kind of draw a cup. So kind of like this. I don't want it to overpower these guys at the top, so I'm going to make it on a smaller scale. So like an umbrella. Actually, an umbrella would be better. So we're doing an umbrella. Okay, so like this. And then we are doing the stem. Okay, my one mistake here is that I didn't have it join over here. So I'm not quite sure how that bow that I had planned to tie these together is going to work. But let's just go with the flow. So I've done one there. Let's do one. Just do like one of those grassy things here. for this. Again, making this area look fuller so it doesn't look too empty. So we've done one here. Let's do one over on this end at the top. So we'll just do two of these. I'm going to get a little bit more of my color happening. And right above this guy. Why not? And doing the bottom half and then kind of just drawing in your stem right in there. Don't worry about tiny little mistakes like that. Once we actually do the grass and whatnot, it'll be fine. So for colors for these, let's do some orange. I think a good combination of some English red along with some golden would be nice. So I'm gonna get some of that English red. So English red as the shadow, and golden as, okay, so let's do this guy first because this was the first one. I'm gonna get the dots happening because that's pretty much what these flowers look like. And you want to make sure that these aren't too full at the top because they're off to the side. So just randomly add your little dots. Go along, keep that white space in between. Thicker dots, more to, I guess. The top should be more flat, like that. Let's do the same thing here. More of a on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to go ahead and add on this area, not the top, maybe the bottom. Some spacing between, so it's really cool. And I think we can go ahead and do some before we I think just have a look. I'll get the very mixing and then quick to get actually when we get something that go ahead. Stick regular some speech. Just in one and another. And then if you to this just purple the center does that. Oh, okay. It's coming. Okay, what's happening? How come it's taking a while? Give me a second, guys. Oh, there we go. We're back. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Patty. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of these pinky bits. Let's do one over on this end. And because this color is nice and dark, I'm able to kind of overlap and get these guys over on, like, making it look like they're kind of in the front of the stem as well, which is great because I don't want them to just be on the sides. It would be nice to have them kind of in between as well. And then I'll just do a third one here, kind of peeking out from underneath. And I think that's good. Yeah, just 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's good enough. And as I mentioned, getting a little bit of dark hue to the center. So I'm going to get a little bit of that violet and add that right in the center here. I'm just lightly doing these dots in here. Some more violet. If you feel like there's too much water on your brush, just lightly dab it onto your paper towel and you should be fine. Yeah, this is great. So now we've got some darks and lights. And back to the green we go. So this time I'm going to get a little bit of my olive green and mix that with the green that I previously had from the Purple Kisses, even though they're not purple. Orange, let's call it Orange Kisses instead. Such a fun name. Anything with kiss, love, hug is a fun name. I know, I'm a pretty cheesy person. All right, getting in some of my stem for these lids. Joining some over here as well. I think that's enough. And now we will do our grass elements. And then try to any, although I should. I think we're good with takes some of my olive green, which is a dark green. Make this like will be a green, but with yellow. A bit more everything. I don't know why the audio is cutting out, guys. Like, should it be? How is it now? Is it better? Because I've not changed anything on my end. Maybe it's my voice because I'm sick. I'm not sure. For to say that's okay. I don't have about the so I'm going grassy elements like I mentioned previously. We'll start off doing some happening just a little bit upward here. So I'm just drawing half of it so it pops so I know it's going downward. So it's easier for me to do it without doing it in one go and then maybe messing up. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know why it's doing that. So if like this was a video, like if you don't know how to do this, you can always refer to this video if you can't hear my voice right now. Sorry. And I'm just kind of lightly painting these in. They're so fun to do using the Quill brush because you can kind of just swoop these leaves and nice. So here and here. You can notice the beam if you start from the center out as a from out shape. So I'll leave that up to you guys to decide which one you prefer. And then I'm just of dark green and just in these areas here so that it goes in as that nice blend. So I'm just going to make it like glowy. That I've added in. Let's add some to this guy too. I think that's good enough for that. Okay, so love how to go over. I think it needs anything else in terms of adding these like bigger elements of these here, but I'll just add on a smaller scale. One just happening right here. And then give it a little bit of a twirl. And then getting my darker green and adding it down to the center here. Good enough. Okay, so this is great. We've got our main front focus elements, and now we're just going to fluff it up by adding some lighter elements in a lighter green. So by elements, I mean more green foliage. So I'm getting some of the umber. I'm going to mix that in with the green that I have left over. I'll get a little bit of the emerald as well and just mix that in here. And I want this watered down to a probably like a 80-20 consistency, so that when we go in now, we have a duller looking green, not as bright as these, and also lighter, and we can go in and just add some green elements. So for this, I'm just going to go ahead and add like a green kind of stem happening over here, and just do tinier looking leaves. And you just kind of have to maneuver your way around all the elements that you have happening in there already. Kind of think about where you want to place it, because you don't want this to look like one big jumbled mess, but at the same time you want it to look just full enough so that it looks like a nice pretty bunch of wildflowers. So I'll do one here. You get a little bit more of that umber. Paint that in there. Just simple leaves, really. You can even go ahead and just paint in some stems here to kind of make it look fuller, especially in this area here, just like thicken that fullness, I guess you could say. Just gonna do one here. Something like that. So we've got some at the top, we've got some here. And one protruding over here. So think about like where you feel these things should be going. Because you still want to keep ample enough white space so that the composition has some breathing room, but at the same time you're making it look nice and full and cute. I'll do one more and then that's it. We'll move on to our gold. I'll do one more here. Notice there's a lot of overlapping. Excuse me. Okay, I think that's it. This is good enough. We don't need to do any more. I have realized that I've covered off this part of the rectangle, so my rectangle placement is off. But that's okay. I'm just gonna go with what we have, and instead of having this placement on this. You know what? I'm thinking maybe I could do another rectangle here. So then we've got this part, and then we've got a little bit happening at the top here. So that's what I'll do. Instead of redoing everything, or even if I moved it slightly higher, I think that would work. Are you guys still not able to hear me? Because everyone's gone silent. Are you guys there? Anybody there? No? Yes? Not quite sure? Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna do the metallics like I mentioned. So for the metallics, you can use a tinier brush. I'm gonna use the number 2. And here's me activating the gold. Oh good, you guys are there, because everyone went completely silent and I was wondering if maybe you still couldn't hear me or what. Okay, so only if your composition is completely dried up, I would suggest taking a ruler, a scale, if you will, and I've got a scale, and I think most of my area is dried, and I'm actually going to paint this with the help of a scale. And let's just try it out and see if it works. So my head might come in the way of things. Actually, no, I'll just turn it over sideways so I can see it better. And I'm just painting this in. And I like the fact that there's like protrusion on each of the sides, so I'm gonna extend it longer. I think that's pretty neat. Great, let's do one more. I'm gonna do it on this side here. Just getting a little bit more of that. Slowly lift it off. Okay, and so we've got this, and I just painted these, so I'm not gonna do that over here. But what I will do is, as I mentioned, I wanted to do one more of the rectangles. So I'm gonna get my rectangular shape out that I was using, excuse me, and I think I'll place it like right above here, and I'll just use my pencil to kind of draw this in. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like the placement for this, but I think I might end up doing a third one. But I won't extend the video for that. I'll probably just think about it after the live and then add a third one, because then we've got 3s. So here we go again. This was a longer one, so slightly thicker towards the middle, because I guess I really pressed down. But still not bad, I like it. And let's do one over here at the top. And I'm going to try and not put it over the leaves. Let me see if I can kind of have it just below the leaves as opposed to on top of them. Very carefully take it off. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm just extending it here just to kind of mimic the rest of them. So we've got one more down here. Actually, let's do this one before I get to that. I get more of that sparkling stars happening on my brush. And painting that in. And then slowly take this off. Just perfecting those. And then let's do one more here. Getting some more of the sparkling stars on my brush, or the gold. And I'll wait for this to dry before kind of adding a little bit more on this end. This one's fairly dry though, so I'm going to see if I can get just a little bit of gold happening in here. Now on screen this looks like brown, and I actually had a very smart commenter to the post that I made this morning on my Instagram. Of course, he's like a really young, I think he looks like a elementary or high schooler, comment on the metallic roses saying that it didn't look like gold or metallics, it looked like a brown. I know, very helpful, right? I mean, but like art is in the eye of the beholder, so sure. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Everyone is not going to like your art. Everyone is not going to like you, and you just need to be okay with that. Life lesson in the middle of our live painting. With the circle template, yeah, this should, like I mentioned in the beginning of my painting, make it whatever shape you want. If you want to do a circle, obviously you can't use the ruler to do that. You'll just have to like use your hand, or maybe if you can use the circle shape itself and just kind of go around very carefully, I think that should work. Lisa, to answer your question. Let's see. Okay, so now that this is done, I'm just looking at it from up above. I'm just going to add some hand-drawn or hand-painted elements in here. We get some more paint. good enough. Okay. So that's it. I am definitely going to rework some elements just to make it look a little more cohesive and whole. Probably like adding these little lines and maybe even adding a couple of buds kind of just falling outward just to kind of touch this area. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. But this was the whole idea for today's video. I am going to flip over to me. And you guys can still see this properly though, right? Actually, let me zoom in so you can see it better before I flip over. See my hand better? Yep, there we go. Okay, so, whoops, careful. So we've got those nice gold elements happening. And if you remember from Thursday's video, we actually had some of these grass elements in metallic right here. So if you feel like the metallic is something you want to go with for this as well, despite the gold being there, I'll leave that entirely up to you guys. But this was the idea for today, where we took our little composition from Thursday, and this is what I meant by the buds. I might add them in, just kind of protruding at the top or off to the side, but I'll think about it later and decide. But for now, this is what we have. And I'm just going to switch over now just to say the last goodbye. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that was it, guys. I'm going to read your comments really quickly to answer any, if you had any questions. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you on here. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Mary. You were too kind. Thanks, Leslie. Hi, MJ. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Jamie. Okay, no one really had any questions or anything. People were just, sounds like people were just going with the flow and painting along, which is great. Oh wait, no, Mary has a question, silly question, but why the lines? Because I felt like it. Why not? And again, it's not for everybody. And do I like the results? Am I wholly satisfied with them? Not really, but I wanted to try something and I did. I feel personally it would have looked way better if this was centered a bit more over the lines, but it isn't. And that's just how the cookie crumbles, but I'm okay with it. And like I said, I'll figure out a way to somehow make it more to my liking. I don't know. We'll see. I might add, like I said, I might add a third rectangle. Not sure. Thank you, Patty. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, just something like an interesting element in there to try, right? As opposed to every day we're doing, or every video we're doing flowers. Let's throw in something new and see what happens. You don't have to like it. If we don't like it, we don't do it again. Or we can just revise and do it better. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And yeah, don't forget about the upcoming many things that are happening in addition to the weekly videos, the challenge. So if you like this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing, and we will chat soon, guys.